Hello, welcome. This is the Newspaper Review segment here on Thav TV. My name is William Sabili, and I'm really glad to have you join me here this morning to do the newspaper review. If this is the first time you're seeing this video, you're right on time and at the right place too. Yes, we bring you the headlines from the national and local dailies, and then we have them discussed here on this program. We're very glad to join us this morning. You can also participate by dropping your comments and your reactions on the comment section. And do well to follow us on our social media platform. We're on Facebook as Thav TV. On Instagram is ThavTV_NG. On Twitter is at Thav TV. And here on YouTube is Thav TV. But you have to turn on the notification bell to always get notified whenever we come online. Well, without wasting much time, let's go straight to doing the headlines with you and, of course, with our guests here at the studio. All right, thank you very much for joining us. Stay with us. All right, let's begin the newspaper headlines from the Daily Times newspaper. Today is the 21st day of January 2022, and the headliner here on the Daily Times newspaper says removal of petroleum subsidy will worsen Nigeria's woes. General Abubakar warns, laments that Nigeria is once again at crossroads. Decision on petrol subsidy removal to be made in June by NEC. NGF to meet NLC, TUC over petrol subsidy removal. All right, and then other headlines here on the Daily Times says, Buhari to Nigerians, be fair in assessing my government. Commissions bridge in Kaduna where he was almost killed in 2014 by Boko Haram. All of that story is on the Daily Times newspaper, so do well to pick up a copy and read the full story. Next, we take on the Vanguard newspaper for today, Friday, the 21st of January. The headliner here says, fuel subsidy removal will decide in June. National Executive Committee speaking. Under that, we also see increase in petrol price will push more Nigerians into poverty. Abdul Salami will engage NLC on fuel subsidy. No role in removal. All right. All of that is on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. So do well to pick up the Vanguard newspaper and you see the full story there. And then we also see Nigeria at crossroads. General Abdul Salam speaking. That's on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. Next, I'll take on this one. It say there was an attempt to bomb me near Kawo Bridge, Buhari. All right. So if you need to get all the story, do well to get the Vanguard newspaper and you find the story there. Next, we'll take on News Direct. News Direct here. And the headliner on News Direct says, Oyetola, Kyari, Dambata, Wabote. 21 orders for inauguration as Zenith Bank, UBA, 7 UP, 4 others lead exemplary private sector's table. NCDMB, LIRS, 5 others emerge public sector leaders. All right, that's coming from News Direct. We also see here on News Direct, 2023, Northeast legislators back North Central colleagues on Yahaya Bello. And then we also see police arrest teacher for alleged kidnapping, poisoning of 5-year-old pupil in Kano. So do well to pick a copy of News Direct and you find all of that story on the pages. Next, we take on the Daily Trust newspaper. The headliner here says 19th, it says security, economic recovery key to 2023 election success. All right, security, economic recovery key to 2023 elections success. Abdul Salami to federal government, fuel price hike, recipe for chaos. Abdul Salami to federal government, fuel price hike, recipe for chaos. All right, it says, I'm impressed. That's another headline here on the Daily Trust newspaper. It says, I'm impressed by El Rufai's performance in Kaduna, Buhari speaking. So do well to pick up the Daily Trust newspaper. And of course, you find the full story. Next, I take on the Daily Sun. Daily Sun newspaper for the 21st day of January 2022. The headliner here says, federal government to decide fuel subsidy removal, June. That's on page 26. Under that, we also see petrol price hike will force more Nigerians into poverty, Abdulsalami warns. All right. Other headlines here on the Daily Sun newspaper is INEC lists threat to 2023 polls, fingers insecurity, summons FCT rec CP over area council's poll. All right. So that's on page 6. The INEC story is on page 6 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Then we also see how I escaped death from bomb attack in Kaduna, Buhari, 20. I'll take it again. How I escaped death from bomb attack in Kaduna, Buhari, Lord's El-Rufai for achievements. All of that's on page 27 of the Daily Sun newspaper. So do well to pick up and read the full story. Do well to also drop your comments and your reactions in the comment section so that we can get your reactions. And of course, follow us on all our social media handles. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and here on YouTube. Please click on your notification bell when you follow us on YouTube to always get notified. We'll continue the reading after the short break. All right, we continue with the Punch newspaper for today, the 21st day of January 2022. And the headline here says, Abdulsalami, workers warn federal government as NEC decides subsidy removal June. That's on page 6 of the Punch newspaper. Petrol price hike will push more Nigerians deeper into poverty, warns ex-head of state. Life already difficult for Nigerians. Don't increase fuel pump price. SANU tells federal government there is 6-month provision for fuel subsidy. We'll take a position after that. Cancel. Okay, we also see here on the Punch newspaper, Electoral Act faces delay at National Assembly. Harmonization yet to start. Then we also see INC, Yoruba Group, seek to join CNG's suit on Biafran agitation. Right. So lastly, I'll take on the Daily Independent newspaper. Nobody should be allowed to raise army of thugs, Buhari recounts his Kaduna near-death experience in 2014. And then we also see here on the Daily Independent newspaper, 2023, ex-governors, senators back Tinubu's presidential bid. And I'll take the last headline here. It says, NEC yet to decide on fuel pump price, subsidy removal. All right, that's the much we can take from the headlines of our national and local dailies. Next, we'll be talking to a guest here about some of these headlines we have read this morning. Thank you for staying with us. Okay, thank you for staying with us. I've been joined by Mr. Eddie here, and he's my guest for today. Thank you very much, Mr. Eddie, for joining me. All right, let's discuss some of the headlines. One of the major headlines that ran through almost all the papers today dwelled greatly upon subsidy removal. We see that former head of state, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, retired, has joined the same call that the NLC, Nigerian Labour Congress, has been calling, that subsidy removal should be left alone for now. And he has joined the call to say, okay, forget about subsidy removal because it's going to further put Nigerians into poverty. What's your reaction, sir?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Abule. Now, talking about subsidy removal, subsidy removal is something that, for me, I think for a nation like Nigeria, is not necessary. It's not necessary because, one, Nigeria is an oil-producing nation.
Yeah.
In fact, Nigeria is the highest producing oil country in Africa, and one of the highest producing oil nation in the world. Now, talking about removing subsidy in oil, the 162 naira that we are buying oil per liter is already on the high side. And this is really putting Nigerians into poverty. So how long do they want to drive the masses to the war? It's unnecessary. Yeah. Now, can you imagine that a governor in Nigeria made a statement that there are several countries who are buying PMS,
yeah,
that is petroleum premium motor spirit,
yes,
twice the cost with which we buy it in Nigeria?
Yes, we've heard that before, yeah.
You heard it, right? Now, my question is that these so-called countries you're talking about, do they produce oil? Because when you talk about increasing the price of oil in Nigeria, the price of petrol in Nigeria, you're talking about, it's like I can actually liken it to somebody who is in a river and you are crying of soap in my eyes. Or imagine if you're running a restaurant and you are spending so much to buy food, meal, and you are operating a restaurant.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be so. It shouldn't be so. So the question is that these countries you're talking about, do they produce oil? Are they oil producing nations? Now, one of my advice I would give to the federal government is that, you see, over the past few years, they've been borrowing money to put in several projects, rail projects, and the rest of them. Can they borrow money and look for a way to bring back our refineries back to life? We have refineries.
Yeah.
Why don't you borrow money? Those monies you are borrowing from China and the rest of them, why can't you take these monies and revive our refineries?
Yes.
Why should you, at this point, be drilling crude oil, you send it overseas, you refine it, and you buy it back?
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
And then the masses get to pay for that expensive foolishness.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So it's laughable.
Yeah.
It's laughable. So these leaders, they know, okay, let me say, they should do what is expected of them. Bring back these refineries to life. Get them to start working. We shouldn't be buying the crude oil at such an exorbitant price, at such high price. How long do you want to drive Nigerians to the wall?
Yeah.
The cost of living is already high. The price of foodstuffs are already high. Transportation is there.
Electricity
is there.
Everything is on the high side.
Yeah.
So,
you get me right?
Yeah, it's quite disturbing. It's very, very disturbing.
Now, I'm not saying that Nigeria is the only country where you have commodities and other things, increasing. Even in US, compared to the former administration, they are still complaining even today that things are increasing. So we're not saying that things will definitely increase because life is getting more difficult. But the way Nigeria is going about it, I wonder how far we're going to go in the next 5-10 years.
Yeah.
So it's uncalled for.
It's uncalled for. Yeah.
Instead of removing this subsidy, why not let's just give them the benefit of collecting these loans from these countries, inject it into our refineries, get them to start working, and drill our oil, refine it here, circulate it, make it affordable. It is very, very possible. It is very, very possible.
So my own is that the federal government should try and look inward and put proper modalities in place before talking about subsidy removal. Because now they are back at the story of subsidy removal, just like they did during Goodluck Jonathan's time, and Nigerians heavily kicked back at him and said, no, you can't do this. We are back at it again without any visible modalities to show that, yes, if we take off this subsidy, these are the things that we feel that the masses can rely on for survival, or that will match the price of removing the subsidy. Right now, they are saying, okay, before June or by June, they are going to, look into the matter and most likely remove subsidy. But when they do that without proper modalities as to cushion the effect of doing so, I know, well, thank God election is just, months away from now. Nigerians are watching. And I don't want to think that they will go ahead to do it. I don't want to believe so. But we're hoping that, yes, our leaders will be wise enough to see that they are not leading goats and cows. They are leading people, intellects, different classes of people that know what they want. And they should be able to, to an extent, be able to carry everybody along and help us to survive in this country. Next up, let me ask you about the insecurity situation. It gets worse by the day. Our president has also come out to reveal that in 2014, he was attacked by Boko Haram via a planned bomb attack, and he said he was almost killed. What's your reaction to that?
Okay, thank you very much. I will come to that, but let me just buttress on what you just said about the fuel subsidy.
Yeah.
I've noticed that of course, it's something that almost every one of us we are aware of. That one of the major problem of leadership in Nigeria is mismanagement. You know, this present administration, you know, when they came into power, they were accusing the former administration of not leaving anything in the nation's purse.
Yeah.
You know, but even if the purse was, you know, was scraped, like you met nothing. With all the revenue that, you know, we've been getting, especially from our crude oil, if they've been properly planned, they should have been enough for you to, you know, to get a level of stability.
Yeah.
Because since these people came into power, they've been complaining. 2023 will make it 8 years. What have you been doing with all the revenue you have been getting, especially from crude oil? It has never been enough for you. And all we go about doing is borrowing and borrowing and borrowing and indebting this nation to debt. You are indebting us, not just only to this generation, but even our unborn children.
Yeah.
So, what these leaders need to do is to, you know, to learn how to manage our resources, manage it, proper accountability. As revenues are coming, of course, you know how you draw your budget.
Yeah.
You draw your budget. Now, one of is it the chairman of one of these bodies? The chairman of one of these bodies, he said that the money from the fuel subsidy removal will be channeled to education and one other thing.
That is laughable, because over the years, like you rightly said, there has been increase in our revenue from the federal government. They have increased a lot of things, even power, gas prices. So many things have been going up and here and there. So if they can be able to manage these resources properly, we would have been seeing it in the government that we are in right now. We would have been feeling the impact of some of these monies that they collect in tax and VAT and everything that has gone way up. But we haven't felt anything different from you know, what we know over the years. So what is it going to be now that they say subsidy money is the way forward? Subsidy money is now the new way that they're going to change the lots of our lives. They're going to change the good. They're going to help us to feel better. And that if we don't remove the subsidy money, we'll continue to suffer. I don't agree. I don't agree.
It's already there.
It's already there, and I
there.
don't think these our greedy leaders are going to come on board and say, okay, yes, because I have received so trillions from you know, subsidy removal, I'm going to use it and create more jobs. How many times have we heard the stories of I'm going to create more jobs, I'm going to feed everybody for the you know, length of my stay in office. I'm going to. We've heard promises that never came to pass. So this is not any different. In my opinion, they should leave that subsidy removal alone. Leave it alone. Let's continue like this. After all, it belongs to all of us. And the bulk of us are saying, don't remove it, leave it. So leave it. After all, they say you are for us. So represent us well. So I was saying that the president he said he was almost killed in 2014. It comes to show how bad, how neck deep we are in this insecurity, you know, crisis in Nigeria. What's your reaction to that?
Okay, thank you very much. When it comes to insecurity in Nigeria, Nigeria has come to a level where, you know, everybody's afraid of their lives. You know, and it's really very, very serious. You know, around the northern part of Nigeria, especially the northeast. You know, even as I sit to even discuss with you, I seriously imagine how people live. Like, people can't sleep with their two eyes closed. There's fear, tension everywhere, and of course, every one of us, we know how this insecurity has really affected this nation. It has affected every level, every
everything.
Economy.
Yes.
It has affected the economy. It has affected even education. You know, children are being adopted, kidnapped. You know, while they are learning in school, and it's a big concern. It's a big concern because you know, this insecurity now is encroaching. It's encroaching. It started from the north. Now it's encroaching to the middle belt.
Yes, down to the south.
In fact, it's already in the middle belt. It has already prevailed in the middle belt and is, you know, coming down to the south. You know, so we just need to, you know, look into where we've missed it when it comes to security. If it will take us to equip our security operatives.
First of all, take down the sponsors of these groups that are just arising from every corner.
Yeah.
Because we know that these militants or whatever they call, these terrorist groups, don't just come up without sponsors. They cannot afford the level of arms and ammunition that they use to come against our security forces. They must have been sponsored greatly by certain people within or outside this country. And in time past, we've heard the federal government release or tell us that they have a list of the sponsors of these groups, including Boko Haram and the present headsmen and all of the groups that are coming up. But what are you doing with that list? We've not heard anybody being arrested, anybody being prosecuted, or any name being released that these are the actual sponsors, so that, people will know the people that are behind this problem. So I strongly propose that I would strongly say or opine that the federal government has everything to fight insecurity in this country, to push back these terrorist groups from wherever they are coming from. But they are not just ready to do it. I don't know for what reasons, whether for political gains or whatever it is they are doing, but they are not just ready to do it. When they are ready, insecurity will be at its barest minimum. Yeah. Well, any final closing from you?
Okay, like you just said, they need to just tighten up their belt.
Yeah.
Tighten up their belt. Do what is necessary.
Yeah.
Because our lives are very important.
Yeah.
You need security for peace. An environment that is insecure, that is without peace, cannot thrive.
You cannot thrive.
Economically, election is coming forth, and you need people to come out to vote.
Yeah.
You understand? When the environment is insecure, people will not have that courage to come out.
Exactly.
We've heard cases of where people are casting their vote and gunmen, they come out from nowhere and they just start train a stray bullet.
Yeah.
We don't want things like that. So we want the nation to be secure. We want peace.
Yeah.
So they should do what is needful.
Yeah.
If it's for them to to empower the security operatives, give them arms that can help them to wage war with these so-called bandits and the rest of them.
Yeah.
Do whatever is required.
Thank you very much, Mr. Egde, for joining me this morning. And thank you, viewers, for staying with us. It's been an interesting time here on the Newspaper Review segment of Thav TV. My name is William Sabule, and do well to follow us on all our social media handles. They're there on your screen as you're watching. Do well to click on the notification bell here on YouTube to always get notified. And click that subscribe button. Click that subscribe button. We want you here on our platform. Also, do well to drop your comments and your reactions on the comment section. We'll be glad to hear from you. Thank you so much. Till next time, I remain William Sabule. See you next time.